Well, good evening. I'm so excited to be with all of you tonight. My name is Brittany Francis. And tonight, if you're a new guest, we want to say welcome on behalf of the person that invited you to this Zoom. I truly believe that this is going to be a bookmark for your life. I really, really do. Over 21 months ago, my husband and I, we heard about this technology, we leaned into it, and it absolutely has changed our lives. It's changed my children's lives. And it's changed the life of my grandmother and his father. And so, what I pray tonight is that tonight is the night of hope for you. So, if there's something that's going on in your family, know that our prayers are with you. And we believe that this might be an answer that is going to be a complete blessing to you. Now, before we jump into the technology and what exactly it is and what exactly it does, I am actually going to open with just one of our friends who I'm very excited to introduce to you. His name is Anthony Baker. Now, Anthony has shared testimonies for quite some time. However, when my husband's attention is drawn and he freaks out, he calls me every once in a while. He goes, "You got to hear this testimony." And so, Anthony, I'm going to ask if you would share, and then I'll jump into this technology and what exactly it does. But I cannot wait to hear what has happened.
Can you hear me, Britt?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me on. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Baker. I'm from Benton, Arkansas, and I'm going to share the 20-second thing that this patch has done for me. So I'm going to be talking about the power of the patch. Months ago, actually over a year ago, I've been taking my mom shopping every month at the beginning of the month. And when I take her shopping, we always go to four stores. And in those four stores, I have a app that counts how many steps I take. Well, I'll do anything anywhere from 1,700 to 2,000 steps. You know, one time I did 3,000 steps, but I've never reached what they said that I should be walking, which is 6,000 steps a day. So the testimony that I have for you is this. Went to Anaheim, California for the LifeWave convention. And as of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I took 31,243 steps. And every day, now the first day I did 9,200, the second day I did 8,004, the third day I did 8,100, and Sunday I did 5,883. Now, here's the thing. When I was with my mom and I would go out with the four stores, it always took a day and a half before I could walk again. And I'm still walking now. I walked those four. Walked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I walked Monday when I came back in from the airport. Today is Tuesday. I'm still walking and no problems. That's the 20-second thing that LifeWave X39 has done for me.
I love it. Can you just share quickly what was a couple of the first few things, Anthony? And then,
Yeah, just a couple of the first few things was I had a shoulder discomfort for 3 years. Gabapentin. If you guys know anything about pain pills, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Gabapentin, Flexeril, Tramadol, oxycodone, hydrocodone, nothing worked. After being on the patch for 2 days, the 3 year discomfort was gone. And I guess the biggest one for me is that this you don't know what you need until you have it sometimes. So I think God gave me the answer before I got a diagnosis. The same day that I was told about the patches, I actually had a cardiologist appointment, and my cardiologist told me that I had an enlarged aorta. That was based from a saddle PE. I had a saddle pulmonary embolism in April, where they took 18 blood clots off of my lungs and my aorta, and from April all the way up to August, I got worse and worse and worse. So they said I had an enlarged aorta. But at this time, I started patching the very next day, but not for the aorta because I didn't know it would work on anything. So 2 days, shoulder. But so I don't want that discomfort to come back. So I'm still patching, right? I go back in 2 weeks for a CT scan. And then that following Tuesday, they call me and say, Anthony, this is your cardiologist's office. We just want you to know that your aorta is fine and everything looks great. Praise the Lord.
and that is why we do these on Tuesdays. Thank you so much, Anthony. God bless you. And I just, when Rick told me, I was like, my gosh, I love it. So that's what we have our hands on, and that's why we are sharing tonight. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen, and then I'm actually going to pull up one more testimony before we really jump into this, and it's going to be the cooks. If you could actually just unmute yourself, I would love for you to share what we are looking at tonight.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Well, what you are looking at is a couple of test results from my Kelsey app. Um, but to lead up to that, just know that in 2008 I had bypass surgery, and of course I've been on blood pressure medicine for quite a long time. Carlene and I have been on the patch for about 5 months or so. When we first got on the patch, we had an appointment, and we have our appointments together with our a family doctor, and uh, had the test results. Had testing done, and of course, I've been in stage three kidney failure for about a year, and going up towards it for the last couple of years. So in conversation with our practitioner, he said, well, we told him that we were on these patches and that we had noticed that we were getting a little lightheaded from time to time. And so we started checking our blood pressure regularly. Oh, by the way, my wife has also had bypass surgery. Uh, so we noticed that our blood pressure was pretty low. And so we thought, well, we better, monitor that. And so we monitored that, and we've been down about half of our blood pressure medicine since we've been on the patch. So 90 days roll by after our first visit with the doctor, and he agrees to let us get our blood tested again. And sure enough, I am no longer in stage three kidney failure. As you can see, the creatinine has that drop down was the 90 days, my first 90 days on the patch, and went from off the zone to back in the middle of the zone and safe. And the EGFR, the same thing. Uh, and there's another one, there's a BUN test that looks the same way. It's all out of whack until 90 days, until my first 90 days with the patch. And then bam, it drops into the zone. So I'm no longer in stage three kidney failure. Can't wait to see what happens in about a year.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much. I'm just, it never ends. So thank you so much, sir. I greatly appreciate you. So this technology is absolutely brilliant. It's in the stem cell world. And so I like to break down on Tuesdays, I really like to break down the science. And I know that we actually have a practitioner that's going to be sharing here shortly. And she's just like a wealth of knowledge. But I want you to understand that this technology actually works in the world of activating your stem cells. Your body activates its own stem cells. Okay. And so every single person's body is different. So your testimony is going to be completely different than every single other person's testimony because your body is different. Okay. So we personally do not treat or cure chronic diseases or illnesses. What you're going to find through the science of this technology, very, very proven science, is that it reflects this light frequency, and then your body wakes up its own stem cells, and then your stem cells begin to go to work. Okay, so by the time we're 30, half of our stem cells, they go dormant, they go to sleep. Okay, by the time we're 60, 90% of them go to sleep. And the fewer stem cells that you have, the faster you age and the slower that you heal. Okay. So very, very important for you all to understand that all of us have stem cells. Our body breaks down and then problems start happening. Okay. So what are stem cells? Because we know that stem cells are a hot topic. Okay. And I guarantee you, if the cooks knew, hey, you can go get stem cells injected, they would have done that if it didn't cost tens of thousands of dollars because stem cells are the master building block of the entire body. Okay. It's their job to naturally repair, naturally renew, and fix all the issues that happen in our body. Okay. And they're found in various tissues and organs. So when they go to sleep, all of a sudden you find that your body starts breaking down at the mitochondrial level, just starts breaking down, starts deteriorating. Well, if stem cells are awake and alert, they're actually undifferentiated cells, which means they have the ability to turn into whatever cell is necessary in your body to fix whatever it is that's necessary. So, this is why already you've heard two massive testimonies, but different. Because if their stem cells start waking up, their body went, oh, we've got a to-do list. This is wrong. This is wrong. This needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. As the body begins to fix itself, all these different to-do lists that the body has begin to take care of themselves. So they take care of inflammation, regeneration, antimicrobial issues, the viruses. And I'm actually going to call on someone before I speak anymore to share her testimony and actually share a little bit about her knowledge, because truly I know that there's going to be a lot of testimonies shared tonight. And I want you all to understand at the medical level what is happening and what practitioners, what doctors are seeing and why. So, Brooke, I would love to spotlight you for everyone and for you to share, why did you jump into this? What caught your eye as far as the science? Because I know you and I are kind of science geeks. And what has ended up happening for you?
Yeah, for sure. So, my name is Brooke Reich, and I'm an integrative health practitioner, meaning I'm more on the functional medicine side of things. And so, the biggest thing with my clients, and some of you may be familiar with this, is drainage. And drainage meaning we need our cells to drain all the way through down, in the lymphatic system to the kidneys, the liver, and out, through the colon. And so, what I don't think a lot of people understand about this technology is that you are stimulating mitochondrial function, which means these little guys in the cell, they're waking up and they're moving and shaking, meaning they are kicking off toxins, debris that shouldn't be there, the first step in drainage. So that's the first thing I need to be implementing with my clients. It's the fastest way I can get a reaction with clients, because if you can put supplementation in the body, that's great, but is it absorbing? How fast is it working? Frequency is immediate. And so mitochondria immediately, every little bitty mitochondria passing through the point of where that patch is getting that shot of frequency. And so eventually as the blood goes through, it's all happening. So that's the first step that I go through with pretty much every client. We've got to get drainage working well before we can start any sort of detox process. So I just love the technology for that reason to begin with. And I don't even know if everybody even realizes that is so key to just getting the junk out. We got to get the junk out.
That's so good. Okay, so fill us in on what happened with you, because I know that you have a testimony, and really I haven't heard all of it. And so I was excited when you said, I have testimony.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't have a lot going on. I wasn't dealing with anything huge in my mind, nothing big like cancer or some of these things that we think are bigger testimonies, right? But we all are aging and we're all breaking down, At some point we're having little issues. And my biggest issue at the time when I was introduced to this was a knee issue. So much so that I wasn't being able to go into a deep lunge anymore, and box jumps were becoming a problem. And so the practitioner that introduced this to me didn't know that. Within 48 hours, you guys, my knee issue was gone. And I was like, what is this voodoo? What is going on? This is amazing. So I got very excited. And then being a practitioner, I prided myself on being healthy. I still do. And it didn't even dawn on me that I was not getting into deep REM sleep, because I wasn't dreaming. Within wearing this patch, probably within the first week, 2 weeks, I started dreaming again. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot what this was like. Just completely forgot. And then go down the line a little bit. In the gym, you're going to the gym, you're working out, you're used to doing the things, but this is a game changer in the gym. I mean, you feel like a beast. I'm like, put me up against a 20-year-old. Like, let's go. I'm really ready. So I'm not feeling that fatigue, the recovery, the stamina. It's all there. So much more so than it ever was. Like, I feel like I'm reversing back to probably like the late 20s is what I would say. Then on top of that, I would say men, put earmuffs on for just a second. We're going to talk some PMS symptoms. Okay. Those type of symptoms, any type of bloating, usually we know our cycle is coming by the bloating. We feel kind of pooey, you get cramps. None of that. That is gone. None of that. I don't know unless I'm looking at the calendar, okay? Or unless I get a little antisocial. I don't like to talk to people right before my period. So there's that. Mom brain. That's a very common thing with us mothers who are doing all the things. We walk into a room, we forget why we walk in the room, all of that. That brain fog is gone. there's just a light bulb going off constantly. You are just ready to go, get the next task done, done and done and done. You're a machine, basically. And I will say this, a lot of people dealt with this. When we hit COVID, a lot of us got COVID, and we just had this fog and we lost sort of our motivation, our lust for life. And I noticed that was happening to me. I still had this drive, but it was like it was muffled. And since being on the patch now for over a year, it's like there is a dominate life mentality back that I cannot explain to you that has come back. And I can only attribute it to the patch as it's cleared things out of my system that a supplement simply could not do. And then of course there's the skin stuff. I mean, I'm just watching the skin and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna have to go down that road of Botox. Of course, I don't want to go down the road. I don't want to go down that road, but I'm seeing everybody doing it. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna have to do it. I'm liking the glow that's happening. So there's a lot that's happened just throughout this past year of wearing it, and then it just gets better as I wear it.
I love it. So that's, as we go through this, I really wanted to share her to share because, it's different when you hear it from somebody that has actually lived it, that's actually in the medical world, So thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that. Now, what I'm next going to do is I'm going to share my screen and we're going to jump into the next piece and open up for more testimonies, but I want everyone to understand how this technology works because I feel like it's very, very important for you all to understand that. First of all, this technology was developed by a gentleman who's absolutely incredibly brilliant, by a man named David Schmidt. He's the inventor, he's the CEO of LifeWave, and he has over 200, actually 215 patents. He is absolutely brilliant. And over 20 years ago, this gentleman was contracted by the US military to come up with something that the Navy SEALs could utilize that would keep them awake for 24 to 36 hours straight, ready for combat. Okay, so they said, David, you're brilliant. He was already doing tons of different things with the military, and they said, we need something that is going to work for our military to be ready for combat, but it cannot be something that goes inside their body. So he began to study the body and the outside of the body. And he found that there's actually chemical reactions that we have that the body actually produces different pieces inside when the body uh, is put in front of light. Okay, so like when the sun hits us, what do? We produce vitamin D. So he began to study this, and then deeper, he studied the inside of the body. And he found that there's biophotons, right? And that's nothing new. It's very, very sciencey, right? So what he did was he said, okay, we have chemical reactions in response to light. There's light inside us, right? And there's DNA changes, chemical changes that happen when light actually hits the body. What if I started looking at all the different light frequencies that the body emits, and I find a specific frequency of light that when emitted off of the body, if I reflect it back, the body would elevate energy? This is over 20 years ago. He found a red light, indeed, that when reflected back into the body elevated energy. And here you go, the first ever photobiomodulation technology over 20 years ago. The body elevates naturally adrenaline. And so Michael Phelps got wind of this. He began to utilize this. Stanford University began to utilize this on their swimmers. And so this began to become a go-to instead of putting something like even caffeine actually shows up on a test. If you take caffeine right before performing in whatever sport you're in. I don't know if you knew that, but it's very interesting. So instead of that, the body naturally elevating adrenaline. So this was the first thing that he actually developed, the energy enhancers. So he knew he was onto something huge. Okay. And so he began to start studying all the other different frequencies of light. And he found that the body actually emits multiple different colors. But he was on a mission in 2008. He focused on stem cells and he found it. This is why you're on and why you're going to hear more testimonies. He found a specific frequency of light that when reflected back in the body elevates a GHKCU peptide. And that GHKCU peptide is known as the holy grail of healing. David Schmidt was dumbfounded that he found that this peptide was actually found in 1973. And he was really bothered by the fact that this person that actually found it did not get and receive the Nobel Peace Prize because of how powerful this peptide is. Now, you can put it on your face or you can inject it, but what ends up happening is your body processes it out. Well, what happens when your body naturally elevates it and continues to elevate it? Miracles begin to happen. So this peptide is extremely powerful. It helps the collagen, like Brooke was talking about. It helps anti-aging, but it also does an age reversal, and it works at the mitochondrial level. So this technology is not putting anything inside your body. It is actually acknowledged as a medical device and by the FDA. It does not need to be approved. It's not a food. It's not a drug. It's a medical device because it's not putting anything inside your body. And it reflects the frequency of light back into the body because it's made in like a specific mirror image that catches the specific frequency. So what ends up happening is a dimmer switch starts going on. And so like what Brooke said is the body begins to fix all these things. And the brighter that it gets, the more miracles happen. So within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. Okay. And so you begin to see changes. A lot of times, 70% of people between 5 minutes and 5 days, 70% of people see something start happening. Within 90 days, 97 to 98% of people see something happening. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. So PTSD, anxiety, depression, ADHD, that begins to clear up. And then within 3 months, the collagen is actually increased. So that is actually the matrix of your body, your ability to get up and down and move and go to the gym and do the things that your body's created to do. Your body begins to work. And then within 6 months, it's scientifically, clinically proven that the cardiovascular age of the heart actually reverses. So my husband, his father came in town from England last year. He was actually in heart failure. And I looked at my husband and I said, "You will pat your dad." And so we did. My husband was like, "Well, my husband had already stopped snoring, but my husband was like, I don't, yeah, there's just things." And I said, "No, you need to pat your dad." 4.5 months later, we received a video of him dancing in Spain. He's no longer in heart failure or kidney failure. So I love what that's why I brought Brooke on, is because she explained at the mitochondrial level. What ends up happening when our body starts breaking down is that the telomeres inside our body actually start shortening. Well, what they've found after the last 3 years of research is that the telomere level, the body actually starts lengthening. So the age reversal is an average of 8.5 years utilizing this technology. So it's absolutely brilliant. This is not anti-aging, and I'm not knocking anybody that does that. God bless them. But this is age reversal. Okay. So that proprietary form of phototherapy is just causing the body to work, and the body is fixing all the different pieces. Okay. So it's extremely sophisticated. We just had somebody share last week that they were utilizing this technology, utilizing LifeWave as a whole, and a tubular mass that was present on September 16th, they received on October 6th, is no longer there. What you are seeing is truly hope for you. And so that's why we love doing these on Tuesdays, because we love to share what's happening, because there are so many people that desperately need hope. So, Antoinette, I would love for you to share what has happened for you, because I know that you've had some pretty unconventional things happen that most people would go, that couldn't happen. And it did.
Yes, yes. Thanks, Brittany. So, I have been patching now for 7 months, actually today. So it's super exciting. I was one of the One Patch Wonders girls. When I started patching, I was dealing with severe asthma on a daily basis. I was dealing with lots of allergies and congestion. And the first day I put this patch on, I had no more asthma. I was literally, it just went away. And I haven't had it since. I've had maybe two really mild like episodes, being in areas where there's smoke machines for like a concert, but never had to take medicine during that time. So it's just been awesome. It's really changed my ability to sleep better, because I was also, when I was dealing with the severe allergies and congestion, I wasn't able to breathe at night and would wake up with severe anxiety, and then I would get an asthma attack, and then it would just, snowball. So it truly changed everything from day one. Everything has gotten better and better as time goes on. I've also noticed that I am able now to lay on my right hip. So I had an injury when I was 16 years old. I was dropped from a cheerleading basket toss, and nobody caught me coming down. So I dislocated my hip and tore muscles in my back, had some injury in my lower back and in my neck. And so I've suffered over most of my life with issues, with pain and stiffness, discomfort. Um, but one of the amazing things, probably about a month and a half in, my hip started to get looser. The pain started to go away. And now I'm actually able to lay on that side, which I hadn't been able to do since I was 16 years old. So that was really life changing as well. Gosh, there's just so many things. My menopause issues, I had terrible menopause issues, and hot flashes were out of control. Those are completely gone. So I'm super excited. My husband isn't freezing now. So I had it so cold in the house. So I don't have to keep it under, 70 nowadays. So it's really good. My dad is um, having wonderful results. He has had lots of health problems over the years, but the most recent thing he actually was patching, um, and was feeling really good. Went to the dump, got in the back of his truck, got out and fell and broke his hip. But thank God he was patching, because his recovery has been incredible. He is now, this was only about 6, 7 weeks ago that he had this break, and he's able to move around by himself. He was supposed to have 2 weeks of in therapy, that he was at a rehab center. They let him go after 5 days. Just incredible. He's doing great. And needless to say, his hair is growing crazy. Like, it's so long, it's dark, it's black. It's just funny. We love it. He's looking younger. His skin is looking better. My skin's looking better. My mom's frozen shoulder is healed. So there's just so many things I can share, but we'll save that for another time. So
I love it. So this is why we do this on Tuesdays. So Miss Marcia, hello, how are you? You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, I think I did.
What?
Hi, I'm pretty new to all this yet. I've been patching for 3 months, and I have quite a medical history. But anyway, I've had three different autoimmune conditions, and my latest one is rheumatoid arthritis. And with the patches now, I feel like a lot of my brain fog is gone. I'm not as fatigued throughout the day. I have more energy. I was having numbness in both my feet, and the numbness is gone, and I no longer have those poking needles in the tips of my toes. Is totally gone. My restless legs, which were spasming, something fierce when I try to get to sleep, that's gone. My feet are pink again. My overall pain from the rheumatoid arthritis, which was quite severe as I was diagnosed last year, I would say it's down at least 60%, perhaps maybe a little bit more than that, but for sure 60%. I feel like my balance is better. I pop up and out of the chair And I mean, I was having a hard time getting out of a chair with two arms. And now I can get out of the chair, any chair, and stand up. Also, I noticed the last couple days that it seems like I have fewer floaters in my eyes. I'm looking forward to my next eye exam, and then also in the spring to my physical, because I think that I'm going to see some awesome uh, overall improvements that will be documented by lab work, and eye exam and such. So I'm pretty excited about it.
I've never met you before. Where are you from?
I'm from Holland, Michigan.
Oh, well, it's so nice for you to share. And I can't wait. I mean, this is just the beginning. So you're going to be coming on like Anthony. Anthony was one of like our big first testimonies years, oh, it feels like years ago. And now it's like, oh my gosh. So Marcia, welcome to our family. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I am so grateful for you sharing because this is like what fuels our hearts. So, um, God bless you, Marcia, and thank you. Erin, oh, yay. All right, Miss Erin.
Hi there, how are you?
Good.
Good. Okay, so before I started patching, I was having lots of aches and pains, lots of joint issues. I was constantly tired, but my number one reason was gut issues. And unfortunately, I had had the thoughts of it was just easier not to eat than eat because I was constantly in pain after eating meals. So I've been on the patch now for 13 months, and within the first 2 to 3 weeks, that pain was gone. And I remember turning to my mom when I had that aha of like, oh my gosh, I haven't been complaining about eating and I'm enjoying my food. So that was my first win. And then all of my joint pain over the next few weeks went away. My energy went back. And at the end of the day, sometimes I have to remind myself that it's time to go to bed because I just have so much more energy. And then the longer I've worn it, now my bloating is gone. Inflammation has literally like melted throughout my body. I am no longer gassy and I just feel so much better. So I'm so thankful and grateful for the patches.
I saw you this weekend and I looked at Rick and he was like, "Is that the same?" And I said, "Yes." So
Oh,
you just
thank
look
you.
amazing. So
Thank you.
I love it. All right, I'm going to call someone out because I got a text from a wife. So she's like, my husband's going to share. And so I would love to call on Jerry Jackson. Jerry, your wife called you out, my friend. Let's
Hey,
see.
Brittany.
There he is. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Yeah, she does that.
So fill us in.
Okay, so all my life I've always had lower back problems. Late last year, in 2024, um, it really got really bad. It got to the point where I was considering whether or not I was going to be able to continue working. And the first part of 2025, it had gotten to the point where I couldn't, after just going to a restaurant, I couldn't stand up after, a meal. And it took several minutes to stand up, to get to moving. And also the pain down my legs and my knees, down the side of my legs. Was more than I could bear. Uh, so we had some great friends in Houston that had since December was trying to introduce us to it, and finally in February of 25, we said yes, whatever, just give us whatever you got, and we started wearing the 39 and the Eon the first part of February, and in 3 weeks I was able to stand up and like driving. I do a lot of driving. So at the end of my drive, I would get out of the car and I would hold on to the door because I couldn't move. I just had to stand there for a little bit to do that. And uh, so at the end of 3 weeks of being on the patch, I came home and stood up and just took off walking. And I really didn't realize it at first. And I'm like, oh my gosh, check this out, you know. And so from since then, it's I've just been grooving, um, working, climbing ladders, playing golf again, just doing all the things that I need to do.
Well, I love it. That's right there. My husband, he could not, I will say this, and my husband is gonna hurt me, but he could not actually, like, now that I think about it, but he actually got to the point where his back was so bad that he, not that he loves golf, but it's just so funny that you just say that. He couldn't really, he was in the car business until about exactly a year ago, and he could not swing a golf club at all. Well, we went to Top Golf with our family, and he actually crushed it to the point where he hit the back of the net. And I just thought about that, Jerry, right when you said that. I was like, oh, yes. So that's what we have our hands on. The testimonies are absolutely unending. And I am happy to answer or help any of you guys after this. We'll open up for questions for tonight. But so the GHKCU peptide, that peptide can also help with animals. Okay, so just understand that when I tell you that this is not placebo, it's really not placebo. You cannot get a patent on placebo, if that makes sense. Okay, so if like a dog has a scrape or an issue or actually a hip issue, whatever it is, you can actually take your patch off and put it on your dog, and your dog's body will actually begin to activate. So we actually were able to cancel some orthopedic appointments for my arm. I was actually going to need surgery, and I actually had what is called Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid condition. And on day 47, my thyroid numbers came back. And ladies, yes, I'm already married, so I don't have anybody to impress. I can do jumping jacks again and keep everything in. And so that's just wonderful. And and then my lady issues, my female issues also stop. But gentlemen, my husband stopped snoring because only men snore. And Rick came home earlier because his mind began to click. And we were able to cancel his iron infusions, and inflammation is gone. And then also, this is my son's broken clavicle. Right here, you'll actually see his broken shoulder right there. And utilizing this technology, this was only 1 week on the technology. So it's absolutely incredibly brilliant. You're going to put the patch where you need it. You only wear it 12 hours a day. Okay, you only need it 12 hours a day. You need your body to rest, okay, because it's your body that's doing the work. This patch is just activating your body, and your body's elevating those GHKC peptides, okay? And then you can take it off, you can put it on your dog. The patch, remember, it has like crystals that are embedded as a mirror, okay? So it's a perfect mirror, okay? There's nothing gaudy about it. It's just a perfect mirror that is made to catch that specific frequency. Once your body's heat and light hit, depending on how hot of your body it is, it really begins to break down. So the patch itself is only good for 16 to 20 hours. So if you put it on your dog, just throw it away and put a new patch on yourself the next day. And you want to stay hydrated. This I don't feel like we talk about enough. With electrolytes, you need to stay hydrated with electrolytes. We were able to spend some time with David Schmidt this last week, and he began telling us all the incredible testimonies that he has with this technology. But water is vital. And I really didn't realize how vital it is, because the water that your stem cells actually will travel more freely through your body and find the areas that are broken. Just so you know, this technology is actually going to be coming out, the LifeWave itself. There was a documentary that was just seen this last week. We were able to see it. It's called The Code of Creation by Mickey Willis, who actually met David and was just absolutely floored. He said, this is the first piece of hope, because usually Mickey Willis covers really dark things in documentaries. He said, I've never seen something so incredibly hopeful for people. So what I will tell you is, it works on everybody, on everything, every single time, given enough time. So you want to make sure that you utilize this technology long enough so that your body works. I tell everybody now, If you're not going to do it for 6 months, don't do it. Yeah, 70% of people feel a miracle between 5 minutes and 5 days. 97% of people feel a miracle within 90 days. But for your body to feel this extended, huge relief, you need to give it at minimum 6 months because there are so many things that your body needs to wake up and fix. Okay, now, if you say, well, what about stroke? What about this? What about that? What about the answer is yes. Okay, so you can actually visit thisisitinfo.com and click at the very top testimonies, and you'll actually find that there's testimonies there of anything really that you can imagine. Anything, really, truly, A1C levels, dialysis, immune system issues, children, because it's not putting anything in the body. It's completely holistic. And if you say, well, I like to see medical doctors and what medical, they're all loving this. Okay, the doctors that are leaning into this and seeing the science, they're like, we have made an oath as a doctor to lean in and do everything that we can for our patients. And so we are seeing a massive spike in doctors, dentists, nurses that are jumping in this saying, why would I not? Why would I not put my husband, my brother, or whatever on this because it's going to work? And so just know that it will work. Okay. So between that and this, you're going to see testimonies all the time. And if you want to see the patent or anything, you can go to thisisitinfo.com and you can study the patents. But this has become my miracle inbox all the time. Every day. I got a miracle earlier that I was like, man, you know. So if there are pieces of your life that you say, I desperately need hope, the answer is, I truly believe that you are on here for a reason. Just give it the time that it deserves. And I'm telling you, you're going to begin to get it. Now, you can wear it, you can share it if you decide, but no matter what, you just need to wear the X39. Period. End of discussion. So what you'll do is you'll actually get back to the person that invited you to this. You can do the core, which is just the sample. What I will tell you is that there is a patch called Ice Wave. It's a two-patch system that actually can block the pain. So if you have a really excruciating pain, the Ice Wave actually is even used for horses in the rodeo and the PBRs. You can block the pain on your body. So you can mix and match patches, but really the X39 is your mama bear patch, okay? The Eon earlier that I believe Jerry spoke about the Eon, it actually helps your body take down inflammation. So you can mix and match patches. The person that put you on this call can actually help you do that. But, that's just to see if it's right for you. The advanced is, you know what? Look, I've got a lot of people in my family and I want a patch. So you can do that for $535 and that drops down the price. You can do the Advanced Plus if you decide, I'm going to lean into the business, or for the premium for somebody that says, no, I've got a lot of family members and I want to tell everybody about this. My husband and I we have 4 children, and my daughter is actually special needs. And we've seen an an exceptional change in her ability to do the things that she wants to do in her life. So I would just say for all of you, know that there's hope on the other side. There's just so much. And we just love what we do. We love Tuesdays because it's just the fuel to our fire to impact the world. And so if you say, I really need this, get back to the person that invited you to this. And I have about 5 minutes, and questions just about testimonies. I would love to answer any of those questions and and open it up. Any testimonies that you guys need to see. While I'm waiting, let me go ahead and share my screen because I love to do this so that you guys can actually see really what you have your hands on. Yes, Claudette.
This is Nelson.
Okay, it takes me a moment to unmute. But I have a question. I didn't see the lady's name, but the one with the gut issues. I was curious to know which patches she was using.
Erin, you're right there. You are more than welcome to answer. I don't know if she's still on or not. I know that now I had helped with
I'm
Yo, go for it.
I'm here. I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry. I'm
Or
watching
which
my niece
patches were you
tonight.
using for which patches were you utilizing?
So I mainly used X39 and then Eon as a supplemental patch.
Perfect. Yeah, and I will tell you, Claudia, I have a lot of people that have had Crohn's and things like that, gut issues, and so they'll utilize the X39 and then in their package they'll do the Eon because that'll take down the inflammation inside the gut faster.
I would like to say something if it's possible.
Yes, sir.
This is Dalton Nowak, and my wife and I have been on this for 15 days. Uh, we have been tremendously blessed. My wife was on her, my daughter and I thought she was on her deathbed. She's in hospice, and I was on the 13th and 14th when she wasn't moving or anything. And so we were told about this, and I said, I want it. I want to try it on my wife. And we got it. And on the 15th morning at 8 o'clock, we both patched ourselves with the X39. Yeah. And by 11 o'clock, I was feeding my wife, and her eyes opened big, and she uh, smiled at me and even said a few things. And since that time, we have seen miracle after miracle in this. That even Sunday, this past Sunday, was the first time we got to go to church together in months. So yes, we were blessed to see it immediately. I know it doesn't work for everybody as quickly as it did ours, us. And in my case, I have so much energy. Uh, my my daughter's having a hard time keeping me under control. So I sleep better. Uh, my balance is better. I was wearing at the time had a walker. I graduated to a cane, and when I'm here at the house, I don't use a cane. When I go out, I use the cane. So that's kind of our story in 15 days.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Dalton, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Well,
Who
it's
int
all it's all it's
who
all God's
introduced you
doing.
to the patch? It is God, but who
It's
introduced
all
you to the
God's doing. He gave David the gifts to do what he does, and it's a blessing to I don't know how many, but it's got to be in the millions before it's all over. Uh, and so you thank God for people like that, and then we have people who are like Brooke and Jonna, our nurse for my wife, and that's how it was initiated with us through Jonna, and then she told us about Brooke, and we just been having a great learning experience and telling everybody in the world that we could think of about this opportunity if they want it.
Mr. Dalton. Oh my goodness. Well, what is your wife's name so we can continue to pray for her?
Deanne, Deanne.
Deanne. Okay. I just can't thank you enough for saying something. You have no idea. Just what a blessing. I truly believe that there will be lives that are changed just because of this right here. So thank you. Thank you. And we're going to continue to come in agreement with you. And you are right. This technology, David is absolutely incredibly brilliant. But it's all come from heaven. So we know where to give the glory. So I'm just so grateful that you shared that with us tonight. Oh my gosh. Like, could you get any better than that? I mean, um, my goodness. My goodness. So heavens to Betsy, Dalton, that was just beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yes. So this is our list of miracles, and I love to show you guys this. Like we need any more list right there. I mean, that like, praise the Lord. But so for ADHD, the answer is yes. I saw somebody autoimmune. The answer is yes. Eczema, yes. And issues with anything that you can imagine. There's our sweet Anthony. Back issues. There's your ADHD right there. The answer is yes. Um, guys, fibromyalgia, the answer is yes. On everything, on everybody, every single time, given enough time. As long as you give it enough time. And like Dalton said, I love what he said, not everybody feels it right away. It doesn't mean that it's not working. It means that there's a switch, right? And your body needs to turn on. And her body said, no, it's not time to go yet. Not done with you, right? And so just absolutely incredible. So the list, ladies and gentlemen, is on and on. We have many nonverbal children that are starting to speak that that the parents were told they're not going to ever speak. So, you know, guys, there's just so much to be said about what we have our hands on. You know, just so much. So this recording can actually be found at Top Tier LifeWave on our YouTube channel. And you know, just place the patch anywhere on the body. Place it where it hurts. Place it anywhere on the body. The most open point to the gut is underneath your belly button. The most open point to your brain, if there's neurological disorders, is on the back of the neck on the C7. It will work. It will work. So, you know, just give it enough time. Plug into us, be a part of our family. Dalton, God bless you. I mean, that was just such a, we are coming in agreement with you, friend. So I just cannot wait to see all that is more. There's just more and more and more. And yes, we're the X39 first. You can use the Ice Wave. When you get back to the person that invited you to this, just know that they'll help you package correctly, however you need to package this. And we know that you will be sharing a testimony soon. With that, God bless every single one of you. Have an incredible evening and take care.